Okay, this is 1.8b of geometry. So when we are finding the area of a rectangle, we are going to do base times height. Here's our equation right there. Alrighty, and then in this top equation, they had to convert to yards. So I'm going to ignore that bit for a minute here, but you're just going to plug in your base and your height and multiply it. So let's try this got it problem, and we're going to have to do a little bit of converting ourselves. Because it says you're designing a poster that will be 3 yards wide and 8 feet high. So 3 yards by 8 feet. And it says, how much paper do you need to make the poster? Give your answers in square feet. So I need to change this yard into feet. Every yard has 3 feet. And so if I have 1 yard, I have 3 feet. If I have 2 yards, I have 6 feet. And if I have 3 yards, I have 3 feet. All I'm doing there is the number of yards times 3. So 3 yards turns into 9 feet. And now I can plug it into my equation. A equals 8 times 9, which is equal to 72 feet square. Square feet, excuse me. Okay, finding the area of a circle, we have A equals pi r squared. We don't have an equation that uses the diameter, so we need to convert the diameter into the radius if we are just given the diameter. So in 5, we're given the diameter of the circle is 14 feet. So then the radius is half of that, which is 7. So then I can plug in A equals pi r squared, so 7 squared, which is equal to 49 pi. There's my answer in terms of pi. And then approximating pi, 49 times pi gives me 153.9. And then C says, which approximation of pi did you use in part B? I used the button on my calculator because it's the most accurate. Okay, postulate 110, area addition postulate. The area of a region is the sum of the areas of its non-overlapping parts, which basically means that we can just split up a big shape into smaller shapes that we know how to figure out the area of, which you'll see in this next one. So if we're given this shape, instead of just trying to calculate it right from there, we should try to split it up like they do here into little bits. So it's split into a square, rectangle, rectangle, and I know how to figure out the area of that. And another way that we can do that, if you look over here, is we can imagine the pieces that are missing. That's another way we can do it. And we're going to try to figure out an even another way. So because 6a says, what is another way to separate the figure in problem 6? So I copied over how they split it up. Another way we could split it up would be, here, let's try this. I'm going to just use this right here to split it up. I could make this into a big square. So this still has a hash mark. This guy has a hash mark. Remember, the hash mark tells us that they're congruent. So this guy is 3, this guy is 3, this guy is 3, etc. So I split it into a little square that was 3 by 3. This is also 3, so this guy here is 6. So I split it into a big square that is 6 by 6. And I split it into another square, little square that's 3 by 3. And then I can find the area of those guys. So A is equal, we'll call this area 1. A1 is equal to 3 times 3, which is 9. A2 is 6 times 6, which is 36. And A3 is equal to 3 times 3, which is 9. Then if I add those up, 9 plus 36 plus 9 gives me 54. If I go back and check, 54 centimeters squared was my answer, so we're correct. Here is a figure that they want us to split up. Excuse me. So to me, it looks like I can split this into a triangle and a rectangle. Now it marks, one hash mark means 4 feet, so this is also 4. Then to figure out what this black line is, I need to look at this whole part. So this whole side over here is 12, and it's marked that this side right here is 4. 4 plus 8 would give me 12, the whole. So this side must be 8. So the area of the rectangle is 4 times 12, which is 48. And then the area of my triangle is A equals 1/2 B times H, so 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is 32. Divided by 2 gives me 16. 48 plus 16 gives me 64 square feet. We're just going to skip over the lesson check. And your homework is on the calendar.